A $1.40 model just tied, and in some cases beat, models that cost $3 to $5 per million tokens. On coding benchmarks, the ones that actually matter. So who built it? Z.AI. Their model is called GLM 5.2. It's open weight, MIT licensed, and it just made a lot of expensive flagships look overpriced. And this isn't just us saying it. VentureBeat ran the headline. GLM 5.2 beats GPT 5.5 on multiple long-horizon coding benchmarks for 1/6 the cost. That's not a rounding error. Now let's break this down. 3 models, 3 very different price tags, and benchmark scores that are basically a coin flip. First up, Claude Sonnet 5, Anthropic's best sonnet to date. It's got vision, computer use, the whole agent stack, and it sits at the top of SWE-bench Pro. Barely. Then there's GPT 5.5, OpenAI's big gun. And honestly, it's the hardest to justify right now. $5 input, $30 output. Per million tokens. That's steep when the benchmarks don't back it up. And then there's the wild card, GLM 5.2. $1.40 on input, $4.40 on output. Open weights, MIT license. It shouldn't be competitive at this price, but it is. So let's talk real numbers. Not vibes, not marketing. Verified API pricing as of July 2026. GLM 5.2 on the direct Z.AI API. $1.40 input, $4.40 output per million tokens. Cached input drops to 26 cents. And on Open Router, even cheaper. $1 input, $4 output. That's absurdly low for a model at this performance tier. Sonnet 5 lists at $3 input, $15 output. But right now there's an intro deal, $2 and $10. Sounds nice. Until you realize that promo ends August 31st. After that, 50% price jump overnight. GPT 5.5, $5 input, $30 output. That makes it roughly 3.6 times pricier than GLM on input and almost 7 times more on output for benchmark scores that are actually lower. Yeah, here's how it stacks up. GLM 5.2 is about 2 times cheaper than Sonnet 5 on input and 3.4 times cheaper on output. Against GPT 5.5, you're paying roughly 1/6. 1/6. For a model that matches or beats it on coding. But here's something sneaky that nobody puts on the pricing page. Anthropic changed the tokenizer. Sonnet 5 uses a new tokenizer that maps the same text to up to 1.35 times more tokens. So even though the per token price looks lower, the actual cost per completed task is about 15% higher than Opus 4.8, and roughly double what Sonnet 4.6 used to cost. Cheaper on paper, pricier in practice. And remember that intro deal? It's a ticking clock. After August 31st, Sonnet 5 jumps to its real price. $3 input, $15 output. Reddit users already flagged this as a quiet price hike, disguised as an introductory offer. Now the part everyone actually cares about, the benchmarks. And honestly, it's closer than you'd think. SWE-bench Pro. Sonnet 5 leads at 63.2. GLM 5.2 right behind at 62.1. GPT 5.5 trails at 58.6. That 1.1 point gap between Sonnet and GLM, that's about 20 tasks out of nearly 1,865. Margin of error territory. Terminal bench 2.1. GLM 5.2 actually wins. 81.0 versus Sonnet 5's 80.4. And get this. The previous generation, GLM 5.1, scored 62. That's a 19-point jump in one generation. That's not incremental improvement. That's a leap. Frontier SWE, same story. GLM 5.2 at 74.4. GPT 5.5 at 72.6. The cheapest model beating the most expensive one. Again. These aren't decisive gaps for any of them. But when one costs 1/6 of the other, The math speaks for itself. So when you plot score versus cost, it's not even close. GLM 5.2 delivers basically the same coding performance for a fraction of the price. The value gap is enormous, and it's only getting harder for the expensive models to justify that premium. But, and this is a real but, there's a catch, a big one. GLM 5.2 is text only, zero vision support. It can't look at a screenshot, can't do computer use, can't handle any agent harness that passes it an image. If your workflow sends a screenshot to the model, it breaks. Full stop. Sonnet 5 and GPT-5.5 both handle vision natively. That means computer use, screenshot-based debugging, visual agent loops, all the stuff that's becoming standard in serious agent setups. For a lot of teams, that single missing feature is the deal breaker. Now, to be fair, GLM 5.2 isn't all trade-offs. It's got a 1 million token context window that matches the longest closed models. And that MIT license means you can self-host it, fine-tune it, do whatever you want. That flexibility matters. So who should actually use which? Let's make this simple. GLM 5.2 is your pick when you're doing high-volume text-based coding and cost is the priority. CI pipelines, batch refactoring, anything where you're burning through millions of tokens and don't need the model to look at anything. Self-host it, run it through OpenRouter, whatever fits your stack. Sonnet 5 is the all-rounder. You want the top SWE-bench score plus vision, computer use, and a mature agent ecosystem? That's Sonnet's lane. It costs more, especially after August, but you're paying for capabilities GLM literally can't offer. GPT 5.5? Honestly, it's mostly an ecosystem play at this point. If your whole stack is OpenAI, function calling, assistance API, the works, then sure, it makes sense. But on pure coding bang for buck, it's the hardest of the three to justify, by far. Here's the thing that should make you pause. The gap between budget tier and flagship tier quality has never been this thin. An open-weight model with an MIT license is trading blows with the best closed flagships on the planet. A year ago, that wasn't possible. Now it's a benchmark result you can verify yourself. The economics of AI deployment are shifting fast, and the expensive models need to prove they're worth the premium. So bottom line, GLM 5.2, value king as long as you live in text. Sonnet 5, the best all-rounder if you need eyes and hands. GPT 5.5, an ecosystem bet, not a performance one. Pick based on what you actually need, not what costs the most. The era where the most expensive model was automatically the best, that's over. The smartest choice depends on your workload, and right now, for a lot of developers, that smart choice costs $1.40.